Hey there guys, here with a post-fight review for the Danny Garcia Adrian Granados fight. I just got done watching it. It was on ITV, so shout out to them for showing us this one for free. I enjoyed this fight, and before I get to talking about the Danny Garcia fight, I just wanted to talk about the heavyweight fight on the undercard, man. I was on Del Boy's stream. I can't remember if that was today or yesterday. It might have been yesterday, but the other day I was on BDA's live stream as well, and on both of those streams, in the chat, people were talking about the Alexander Dimitrenko Andy Ruiz fight that was coming up, and I said in the comment sections, I says on several videos that Alexander Dimitrenko was going to quit. I told you guys that, and as soon as I heard about this fight, that was what I said. I was like, okay, so Dimitrenko is going to quit midway through the fight. Because that's what Alexander Dimitrenko does, man. The guy is a total pussy. I can't stand fighters like that, if I'm being honest, man. I mean, looking at the fight, in one corner, you've got Andy Ruiz Jr., a guy who has been horribly inactive over the past couple of years, hasn't fought at a very high level, hasn't really done anything. And he's terribly out of shape, as he always is. I mean, Andy Ruiz is one of these short, fat, like chubby, flat-footed Chris Arreola type heavyweights. He's got quite quick hands, but he's very flat-footed. Plods around the ring. He's fat. He's very predictable. Fights in the same patterns. Just a really basic and one-dimensional fighter, if I'm being honest. And then you've got Dimitrenko in the other corner. Dimitrenko's about 6'7". He's a tall guy in pretty good shape for his age anyway. I think he's like 37 now, but he's in pretty good shape. Looks as if he's trained. Dimitrenko has the better footwork. He's got quicker feet. He's the bigger puncher by far. I mean, if you look at what Dimitrenko has done in his career in terms of being more, naturally heavy-handed, he's just the bigger puncher of the two. And he's clearly the better athlete, but sadly the guy is a total wimp. And I think Dimitrenko, he needs to get the fuck out of boxing, man. He needs to retire, because Andy Ruiz was doing what he always does. He was just plodding forward, throwing 1-2s, not really throwing combinations, just throwing 1-2 and fighting in bursts and not really doing much. And he wasn't really showing much power to me. I mean, the hand speed was pretty good, but I don't think Andy Ruiz is really that big a puncher. I mean, guys like Derek Rossi were able to take his power no problem. And I don't think he's a particularly dangerous puncher. I don't think he's particularly, I don't think he's a particularly impressive pressure fighter. But Dimitrenko, man, just gave up after the 5th round. What an absolute pussy. He walked out of the ring and didn't even give a reason why he quit, didn't even give an interview. But he wasn't taking a beating. He was losing the rounds for sure, because he just wasn't interested. You could tell from the opening bell that Dimitrenko didn't want to be there. And I knew, I was like, a couple rounds in, he's going to quit. I said so in multiple videos and in comment sections and whatnot. So yeah, I never want to see Alexander Dimitrenko in a boxing ring again. Don't want to watch that guy again. As for Andy Ruiz, that there was talks about him potentially fighting Joshua, and he called out Adam Karnacki and whatnot. He is going to get absolutely demolished at world level. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like this guy. I think he's terrible. I think he's going to get absolutely obliterated. I mean, if they put him in with Dillian White or somebody like that, or, somebody like a Kubrat Pulev, he's going to get his arse whipped. He is so predictable, like I said, clumsy, plods forward, throwing one shot at a time. No defense, no head movement, just crap in my opinion. And I don't think that Andy Ruiz is going to be a threat to the heavyweight division, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, that farcical heavyweight fight out the way. Let's get to the main event. So, Danny Garcia, with probably the best performance of his entire career against Adrian Granados, man. Adrian Granados I've always liked as a fighter. You guys might remember the rant that I did after he got robbed against Adrian Broner. In fact, I did 2 rant videos after that fight. Adrian Granados dominated and clearly beat Adrian Broner, and got absolutely disgracefully robbed on the cards. And I did 2 rant videos about it, man. And yeah, I thought that he was going to give Danny Garcia a much tougher fight than he did. Danny was too powerful. Every time he connected with even a glancing blow, Granados was stumbling all over the place. He got dropped with that counter left hook, which is kind of a signature punch of Garcia. It's the same shot that he dropped Amir Khan with years ago. And Garcia, he then went on to drop him with a right hand later in the round. And Garcia was on a mission. Garcia was on a seek and destroy type of mission for this fight. He wanted to prove that he can get back in the mix. He wanted to one up Sean Porter's performance against Granados, because I really do think that Garcia wants a rematch with Sean Porter, or maybe even Keith Thurman. I think he wants to get his own back with those guys. I genuinely think that Sean Porter is the guy that he's looking for, and yeah, I do think that's going to be interesting, a rematch, because the first fight with Sean Porter and Garcia, although Porter clearly won, it was competitive, and Garcia looks to have made a few improvements, sitting down on his punches a little bit more. He's not hanging back and waiting as much as he was before. I think he got used to relying on the judges and stuff and getting gift decisions, but he's not relying on the judges now. He's got his own two judges, and that's his right and left fist. So I think that that's going to be an interesting rematch if it happens. If he fights Manny Pacquiao, even a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao, I'd make a big favourite over Garcia. But there's the he can maybe fight the Crawford Khan winner. That fight's happening later tonight. Maybe Garcia could face the winner, but then again, it's with Top Rank in it if it's Crawford. So I don't know. We'll see. There are fights out there for Danny Garcia, man. He's an interesting addition to the division. I've never been a big fan of his, but he was exciting with this performance tonight. So I wouldn't mind seeing him face Pacquiao. I wouldn't mind seeing him face Thurman, Porter, maybe even give Broner a whipping. People will enjoy that. I know I certainly will. God forgive me, but yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Kell Brook. That'd be a good fight. So yeah, there are fights out there for him. So let me know what you guys think about this one. It was a pretty decent fight while it lasted, man. It was action packed. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. It was a good one. Yeah, thanks for watching. God bless.